Has the case of Elisa Lam been solved, or is there more to it? Now, this case is extremely famous. It has gone viral multiple times all over the internet, and Netflix also did a documentary on it. And most people seem to believe that it has been solved, and unfortunately, it was just a very bad set of circumstances that ultimately led to a freak accident. But some people believe that maybe there is more to it. So the story takes place in Los Angeles, specifically at this hotel here called the Hotel Cecil. And this hotel has a very long history, and it's not all good. The hotel has been known to be home to a lot of violence, gruesome crimes, and multiple people taking their own lives. Even Richard Ramirez, aka the Night Stalker, once called the Cecil Hotel home for a short amount of time. But then in 2013, we meet Elisa Lam, and she was a Canadian university student. Now, it is important to note that Elisa was suffering from mental illness. She did have an extensive history dealing with it. And sometimes she was known for not taking her medication, which resulted in her being hospitalized at least one time in the past. But in January of 2013, she made a decision to go visit Los Angeles. She arrived on the 26th of January and 2 days later checked into the Cecil Hotel. Now, initially she had booked a room where she would be sharing with a few different roommates, but very quickly after she checked in, these roommates started complaining of very bizarre behavior coming from her, which resulted in Elisa being moved into her own room. Now, throughout her trip, she was keeping in contact with her family, except on January 31st, that contact stopped. And when her parents did not hear from her for an extended period of time, they became extremely worried. This was out of character for Elisa, so they decided to report her as missing. The police arrived to the hotel and searched it as much as they legally could at the time without completely disrupting everyone's stay, but there was no sign of Elisa anywhere. About a week later, the search was intensified even more, with the LAPD sharing her flyer all over the city. Then a week after that, on February 13th, LAPD decided that they needed to release the last known video footage of Elisa. And this was the footage that made the case go absolutely viral. And it was because of how odd Elisa's behavior was when this was taken. Now, this video footage was taken on January 31st, the last known day that Elisa was seen alive. And in the video footage, you can see her frantically running into the elevator, almost as if she was being chased by someone. But if she was being chased by someone, that person never appeared on the video. She runs into the elevator and is obviously very panicked, like she's freaking out, and she even starts pressing almost every button possible. At one point, she starts peeking out of the elevator to see if anyone else is in the hallway. And eventually she walks out of the elevator as the doors close behind her. And immediately the theories were swirling all over the internet. One of them being obviously that she was maybe being chased by someone, while others suggested that maybe she was under the influence of some sort of substance. But when the news came out that she was suffering from mental illness, a lot of people thought that maybe she was suffering from some sort of episode. Then about mid-February, while the search for Elisa was still ongoing, a lot of the people staying at the hotel started to complain about the water. They were saying that the water now had some sort of weird taste and almost appeared to be a black, muddy color. And that was when maintenance workers went upstairs to the roof of the hotel to check on the water supply. And when they opened the tank, that was when they made the horrifying discovery that Elisa was inside one of these tanks face up. And unfortunately, she was no longer alive. And essentially what people were describing in the water was a result of her body decomposing inside of the tank. An autopsy was done on Elisa's body, and it revealed that there was no sign of physical trauma or SA. They did find some traces of prescribed medication as well as ibuprofen, but there were no signs of any illegal substances. But even more alarming to the public was how she could have possibly even gotten into the tank in the first place. Supposedly the doors and the stairs leading to the roof are completely locked and only accessible with staff passkeys. And even if she was able to somehow get through these doors, it would have triggered an alarm. Some suggest that maybe she used the fire escape to make her way to the roof, but that still leaves up for debate as to how she managed to even get inside the tank. Mainly because these tanks did not have any sort of attached ladder to them, and the lid for them were also very heavy. Now, common sense would tell you that Elisa could have potentially been suffering from some sort of manic episode, considering that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and somehow made her way to the roof, pushed the lid open, and jumped in and unfortunately drowned. But that theory just does not seem like enough of an explanation for a lot of people out there. with many choosing to believe that there was something much more nefarious going on here, especially when you watch the video. And some people even seem to believe that there is some sort of paranormal element involved. But like always, let me know what you guys think.